Alaska is a place of extremes, huge, wild, and almost empty. Imagine a land so big that several European countries could fit inside it. Its coastlines are longer than all other U.S. coastlines put together, with giant mountains, thick forests, and icy rivers. But even with all that space, there are very few people. There are miles of land without a single person, creating a unique feeling of both loneliness and wonder. The silence is deep, broken only by the wind or the sound of a glacier cracking. The ground holds riches, gold, copper, oil. The waters are full of fish, supporting a strong fishing industry. This promise of wealth brought adventurers and dreamers from all over the world. But living here is expensive and tough. Many come, but few stay. Alaska even pays its residents to stay, but most still leave. It's an American state that feels like its own country, with its own unique challenges. To understand why living here is so hard is to dive into a story of extremes, a frontier that, even today, pushes the limits of human endurance. In Alaska, the biggest challenge is distance. Most towns aren't connected by roads. Villages are like islands in a sea of nature. Small plains are how people get around every day, landing on dirt strips or frozen lakes. A snowstorm can cut off communities for weeks. Everything is expensive and complicated. Food, fuel, even a simple home repair can take weeks. Geographic isolation turns into social isolation. Living in small communities can be cozy, but also a bit stifling. Young people look for opportunities elsewhere and rarely come back. Residents learn to be self-sufficient, to improvise, and to rely on their community. Helping your neighbor isn't just being nice, it's about survival. Distance forces a collective way of life, even in the middle of all that solitude. Here, life is a constant lesson in adapting. The isolation shapes the spirit of those who stay. Alaska's weather is really tough. Winters can get as cold as 50-degree lags, freezing everything and making you always need to be ready. Just going outside is a big deal. Lots of layers, full protection, and a real risk of frostbite. In winter, the sun disappears for months. That's the polar night. The darkness can make you feel down, cause sadness, and really test your mind. In summer, the sun never sets. That's the midnight sun. Everyone gets a burst of energy, wanting to enjoy every bit of daylight. Sleeping is hard. Your body loses track of time. This changing light and dark cycle means you have to adapt both your body and your mind. The weather is a main character here, shaping the lives and moods of everyone who lives in Alaska. Small joys become really special. The first ray of sun, the warmth of a fireplace, the beauty of the snow. Living in Alaska means getting used to extremes you won't find anywhere else. The weather isn't just a backdrop, it's a daily challenge. Here, nature calls the shots. Only the toughest people thrive. Before any Russians or Americans arrived, native peoples already called Alaska home. The Inupiat, Yupik, Athabaskan, Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian all built cultures that fit perfectly with their tough environment. They hunted whales, seals, and salmon, using every single part of the animals to survive. They built clever shelters and were masters at fishing and woodworking. Their art and traditions really blossomed, telling stories about their clans and families. But then, outsiders arrived, bringing sickness and big changes. Even with all that, the native cultures are still here, fighting to keep their languages and traditions alive. They show us that it's possible to live in tune with the land, with respect and wisdom. The strength of these peoples is a great example of how to adapt and belong. The native past is truly the foundation of what Alaska is all about. Alaska's modern story kicks off with the Russians, who were really keen on those valuable sea otter furs. Russian rule was all about exploitation and some tough times, but it was also pretty shaky and expensive to keep up. So, in 1867, the US bought Alaska for $7.2 million. A lot of folks thought that was just plain crazy. But then, everything changed with the gold rush in the late 1800s. Thousands poured in, hoping to strike it rich, facing all sorts of dangers and often finding disappointment instead. Gold truly put Alaska on the map as a place of both big chances and big risks. After that, fishing and logging became the big moneymakers. During World War II, building the Alaska Highway finally linked the territory to the rest of the continent. And in 1959, Alaska officially became a U.S. state. But the biggest change was still on its way: oil. In the 1960s, the discovery of oil in Prudhoe Bay changed everything. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline, 1,200 kilometers long, was an engineering marvel. Oil money made the state rich, leading to the creation of the Alaska Permanent Fund. A portion of the profits is distributed annually to all residents. That's the famous dividend. The government literally pays people to live here. But wealth didn't solve all the problems. Limited infrastructure, isolation, and extreme weather still remain. The state became dependent on oil. When prices drop, crises emerge. The dividend helps, but it doesn't make up for all the challenges. The money brought prosperity, but it didn't tame the wild nature. Alaska continues to be a place of extremes, where the cost of living is high. The promise of wealth runs into the tough reality of daily life. Oil changed its destiny, but it didn't make life easier. Here, survival still depends on courage and adapting. Black gold brought hope, but also new problems. Getting a yearly check just for living in Alaska sounds like a dream, eh? The dividend helps with bills, but it doesn't make up for the isolation, the cold, and the high cost of living. Many come for the money and adventure, but few actually stay. That first winter, the darkness, and being far from family really test anyone. The population is always changing. The initial charm quickly gives way to wanting comfort and connection. Those who stay develop a deep connection with the land. They stay for the freedom, the community, and the wild beauty. The dividend becomes a bonus, not the main reason. The real reward is the unique experience of living here. In Alaska, loneliness turns into peace and independence. Living in Alaska is expensive, really expensive. Almost everything has to be shipped in from far away, which drives up prices. In remote villages, even fresh fruit is a luxury. Housing is pricey and tough to build. Everything needs to be super strong to handle the extreme cold. Heating eats up a big chunk of the budget. The job market is limited: oil, fishing, government, and healthcare. Outside of those, opportunities are scarce. Skilled workers often have to leave. Even with high salaries, your money doesn't go as far. Many come to save up some cash and then head out. Staying requires careful financial planning and sometimes more than one job. The cost of living here is a constant test. Only the most determined folks manage to thrive in the long run. Even with all of that, many people really love Alaska. What keeps them there isn't money, but the feeling of the place itself. It takes courage, toughness, and being okay with extreme conditions to stay. Life here really tests you, with storms, being alone, and unexpected things happening. Being tough is a clear sign of a true Alaskan. They adjust, they figure things out, and they see challenges as just part of life. Their connection to nature is very deep. It's like a neighbor, it provides for them, and it can also be a challenge. The pride of living where bears and eagles are common is huge. The feeling of belonging is stronger than any money problems. Living here is a clear choice for freedom and the wild beauty. Those who stay are like modern-day pioneers, looking after a forgotten frontier. Alaska is the last frontier, both on the map and in the human spirit. Here, you can still truly experience what it's like to be free.